everyone, my name is Guillaume and welcome to a new episode of Hit the Tone. What's up guys, welcome to a new episode of Hit the Tone on Thomann's Guitars and Basses. In this series I'm taking intros, riff, licks, bits of famous songs and try to give you all the tools you need to hit the tone. As usual, this is a recommendation based format, so before I get into this one, please go down the comment section and let me know which song you'd like to see on the channel and I'll get to you as soon as possible. While you're down there, please consider liking this video, subscribing to the channel. Thank you very much in advance. And now let's start with today's song, which is This Is The End by Machine Head. Alright, so I think at this point the Davidian episode came out. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If not, I'm sorry, I guess. But I had a lot of fun making it, and while I was playing that, I couldn't stop myself from playing This Is The End, which is I think my favorite song of the Unto the Locust album. So this came out in 2011, and this is the first tour that I actually got to see Machine Head play live, and it was such a mind-blowing experience that I got home and I started learning the entire album. It was just, of course, Burn My Eyes was my introduction to it, but this one was something special, I think. It's definitely one of my favorites. So the song was recorded by Rob Flynn, obviously, and I think Phil Demmel, although he's not namely credited on this one, so I think it's just for the writing process, but he was definitely involved in the whole album making situation. So Rob Flynn, Phil Demmel. The guitars for this album, and again, I'm not too sure about this, kind of hard to find like hardcore information on it, but we're probably a Gibson Flying V on Rob Flynn's end and a Jackson Demolition on Phil Demmel's side. Now I just want to make it clear that this is not an ad for Schecter. I could have got the Gibson Flying V or the Demolition, but the Schecter is now kind of studio dedicated. It's a brilliant guitar, fantastic pickups, great playing instrument. And so instead of taking more guitars out of the warehouse that then couldn't go back as new, I just went for this one, you know. And this song is going to happen on the bridge pickup, and this is our basic tone. Again, why no gain? Why no gain? Okay, but as you've guessed it, this is not the end game here. We're gonna have a look at what's happening with our amp and pedal setup. Alright, so yeah, as usual, it's kind of weird to demo a metal tone starting with the clean signal, but it's so you guys can have an idea of what the rig sounds like without any gain pedal in. So as usual, I am going through the Fender Hot Rod Deluxe Tweed Edition. The controls will be on your screen. I think this is a much more modern sounding album, at least as far as I could tell. They're probably still using either PV or EVH 5150 amplifiers, at least for Phil Demmel, that I know, because I got to meet him, interview him, it's on the channel, go check it out. So yeah, more modern than what they previously released, and in my opinion, the absolute best sounding modern gain pedal on the market is the Rev G3. It is that lovely purple box that you see on the pedal board. The controls will be on the screen, obviously. I'm using the red, like all the aggression, all of it. Fairly cut on the bass because, as usual, the Fender is pretty boomy. And yeah, just a fair amount of gain. And that is going to take our sound there. Okay, so all the aggression, maybe not as scooped again as what Machine Head had previously done, but it's such a fantastic sound. Great pedal for anything that's medium to high gain, definitely modern, really like percussive. Yeah, that's a good word. Percussive kind of metal sounds. And that is it really. I'm not going to add anything else. This is a verse riff, so it needs to be very clear in the mix. No delay or reverb as far as I'm aware. Maybe double tracked, you know, as usual on the album. But if you're covering it, that should do it. And with that said, let's have a look at the final part of that video, which is as usual the most important, and is how to play the song. As usual, I realize now that I forgot to mention half of the things that I wanted to say in the first part of that video, which is everything that I'm using today will be linked in the description box down below. So if you want prices, if you want other alternatives that could work for that kind of tone, you will find them there. You will find also a link to the tabs for this song if you need to spend some more time practicing it. Also, I wanted to disclaim why I was wearing shorts in the beginning of the video. I don't know if it's useful at this point, but it is a billion degrees inside and I am dying, so not wearing jeans. Got cool socks on though. All right, let's start with the lesson part of the video. This is a really fast riff. This is a lot of down picking, a lot of alternate picking. There's some happening, so it's not entry level, definitely. If you're starting the guitar, I wouldn't recommend starting with this episode. Maybe go check out some of the other ones. But if you're at that point and you want to chug, make it happen, this is such a cool riff. It happens in drop B. So if your guitar is tuned anywhere higher than this, you might want to consider changing your strings because otherwise they might get floppy. Drop B means tuning your guitar down to C standard and then dropping the low C down to B. It's a fairly common tuning in metal, a very common tuning in Machine Head. So if you're going in that direction, you'll definitely find other songs to play with that tuning. But with all that said, let's have a look at our fretting hand for the song. So the tricky part of it is the amount of travel that you have to do to get from one position to the next. It's not just fast. It's not happening on one, like you can anchor your index finger somewhere and just do the fasty thingies with the rest of the fingers. On this song, you kind of have to go all over the place. So that kind of travel involves obviously precision because you want to stop exactly where you need to stop. It also involves maybe a noise gate. I don't have one here, but the problem when you're playing with that amount of gain is traveling on the strings implies some sort of scraping as such, which is not very nice. So either try and keep that under control by pull muting when you're traveling in between the positions or just traveling so fast that the noise doesn't have time to happen. Pro tip. All right, but with that said, let's have a look at the picking side of it. Now, even though there's a lot of traveling involved on the fretting side of this riff, in my opinion, the hardest part is definitely the picking, because you're going to go from really fast down picking to faster alternate picking with like really precise kind of groupings. It's definitely going to take some experience. If you want to practice the techniques individually, try and do some, Metallica kind of thing to practice your down picking. Try and do some more chuggy, just groupings of 3 on the right hand, such as this. On your picking hand to sort of build up the speed first and also the accuracy, because you want it to sound mean, sharp, but still very precise. So again, this is definitely not a beginner type of riff. If you're there, don't worry, you'll get there, I'm sure. But maybe take it slower, go back to other songs, maybe simpler songs, even just back to Davidian really, which is a simpler riff, but still as, if not more, impactful. Is that a word, impactful? I'm not sure, but it is impactful. And then come back to this one later on. But if you're there in your guitar playing, it's the coolest riff. And with that said, that's it guys. I think you have all the tools you need to hit the tone on This Is The End by Machine Head. As usual, I hope you had fun. I hope you learned something. If so, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel. Don't forget that you decide what song I'm going to play next, so put it down in the comment section. and I'll get to you as soon as possible. Thank you again very, very much for watching. I wish you a fantastic week, and I'll see you next Monday in a new episode of Hit the Tone.